I think we got it this time. Cross your fingers. Hello, everybody. I'm so proud of myself. I got the camera to work. I know I'm a couple of minutes early. I know I am, y'all. You just don't know how happy I am. So, oh no. Reload. What? I love you, Facebook. Come on. Oh my God. It's not coming up on here. I hope I'm still live on there. Oh my God, Facebook. Let's try again. There I am. Hallelujah. It was up and then it says reload and then it wouldn't reload. Everything goes wrong all the time. Well, hey everybody, how are y'all doing today? This is Carolynne from NonnasNuttykrafts. In case you didn't know that. So welcome to NonnasNuttykrafts. And you can find me on all those cute little icons that I listed down below there. And this has captions scrolling at the same time. Isn't that funny? Huh? Who knew? Who knew? Let me flip this back. Got all these little things. I can't, with all the changes that Facebook is doing, it's thrown off my program here. And of course, having a new computer and then trying to get it all figured out again. Look, and you get to see my room big time. Usually it's a lot smaller picture, but you guys are getting a wider view. Good God. I think I need to do some cleaning up, don't I? You get to see all my dirty aprons hanging over there. I put on the clean one for y'all. So how are y'all doing today? So welcome, welcome. So today we have a cool little project, and this is a cool little project that you can do for anybody, a teacher, mama, dad, grandma, whoever you want to give it to. If you're doing craft shows, this is kind of a good thing that you can use too. So what we're going to make is this cutie. Look at how cute. A little bow on there. See, little bow. It kind of matches so you can't really see. We're going to make, it's a pin cushion. Isn't that cute? And you can decorate it however you want. And we're going to make these today. Just something a little different. All right. So I'm going to switch cameras here so that you can see from the side view. The first thing you're going to need is your fabric. So you can go to, now I got these at Hobby Lobby. They're called fabric quarters. Now you don't have to buy it this way. This was $2.99 and you get, what is it, 18 by 21 inches. And it's just, a fabric square kind of a thing. And you can cut it up. I chose to do these sewing ones. You could do anything you want. But this is just what I chose for this. I just wanted to keep it more in a sewing project. And you're going to need to cut out your square or your circle. So we'll get to that in a minute. What I'm using for this project, you could do this in terracotta pots if you want to. These are paper mache. You can see I painted it. I put a clear, this is a glossy finish I put on it. Now, some of the paints when you buy it, the pink one that I use and the purple didn't come out glossy, but this one and the one that I showed you I did have a little bit gloss and felt a lot better on it. But I still chose to use, and this is what I used on it, a clear acrylic coating. And I just sealed it once I painted it. It takes a couple of coats of paint. I did, if you can look in there, you see there's white. I put a white base coat on first and then put the paint. I didn't know if that would help dry it, make it better or not, but I wasn't sure, so I just did that just in case. So, so that it didn't absorb in. And then after all this was dry, I did this and I let it dry for many hours. Now, the paints that I choose to use today, I have actually different ones. The purple, I use the Craft Smart, and this is purple. So that's the one I used for this one. The pink one was Apple Barrel. Now, Apple Barrel is a little bit more liquidier than anything. As far as that goes. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Rise and shine, right? just to let you know. So this one is a little bit more watery. This is good. Now, and then I had the Cream Smart also, and this was the turquoise one for this. Now, what I had not used before was the Martha Stewart one. And this one actually was the one I used here, and it actually coated, really good on it. And I was really surprised. Some of the other ones took a couple of coats. I did do 2 coats of this on it just because I wanted to, but actually one coat was actually pretty good on this one. So, and listen, you guys, if you look below, you'll see a thing popping up about my stars. Okay, I'm doing stars for the Wounded Warriors project. I am so close to finishing this level of it, and I would appreciate it. Maybe if we could finish it out, for this Christmas holiday. I'm sure they would appreciate all the stars that I'll be giving them, the money, as far as that goes. All right, so we needed our fabric. You could use the terracotta. These are 3-inch, I believe it is. Yeah, about 3 inches tall. You can make them whatever size you want, but we're doing 3 inches tall. I'm going to move these off to the side. I got some lace I'm going to use, which is what I used on this. You can use ribbon. You can use whatever you want on it. It is up to you, but just letting you know that, okay? I'm using lace on mine. Use ribbon, whatever. And you can hear little things jingling in here because I have little rhinestones. This one has flower. And what did I have in this one? This one, I actually have a button. So we're going to do 3 different things in these. Whoops, put those in the wrong ones. Go in there. All right. So that's that. The next thing, of course, you're going to need needle and thread. I'm just using, as far as my thread goes, you can use regular thread that you get off a spool. I'm just using some of my, cross stitching or needle threading, whatever you want to call it, to do mine. And I don't use all 6 strands. I'll split it into 3. If you make the strands too thin, then what happens when you pull it tight? It's going to break on you. So just letting you know that. All right. So to make the circle on this, what I did, I took one of my 50-yard rolls. And this is actually about a 6 1/4 inch in diameter. You can go 6 1/2. And I placed it on top here, and I just took a pencil and I traced it. Now I've already done that. I also ironed these out because they did have a crease on it, but this one had a crease on it too, but you can't see because the crease, instead of the crease being up like this, it's inverted the other way. So it worked out okay. So let's go ahead and get these babies cut. So now you can't see my circle. Now it doesn't have to be so particular, around the edges, because we're going to sew these edges down and you're not even going to see them, which is the great thing. So if you're like zigzaggy or your circle's just a little bit off, it's not going to really hurt your project. So keep that in mind. I don't know which way better to hold it or do it on the table. I guess either or. So let's cut this one out. Oops. See, that was not actually even cut, that little piece, but because I'm so picky, I will cut that little piece off. Bring my garbage. Oh, and of course, the most thing you're gonna need is some polyfiber fill. Now you can get anything. This is just fiber that you'd stick in anything. It doesn't have to be such a big bag. You can get this at any of your local craft stores or sewing stores. I just got a big bag because, I wind up using so much over the time. It's just worth it for me. So let's get this one cut out. So how is everybody? Everybody getting ready for the holidays? Woohoo, right? Good morning. I think it's going to be a great Christmas. I don't know if we're going to get snow here. I know some other friends of mine up in Michigan and all, and other places did. We got what they call, it wasn't hail yesterday. It was, what do they call it? Grupal or something like that? Groupals? It was really weird. Never heard of it before. But it looked like hail, but it was like little balls. But it wasn't hail. All right, so I'm just going to cut off some of this. And this is in strands of 6. So you're going to do it in strands of 2 or strands of 3. I'm just going to peel it across, and I'm going to do it in strands of 3. Just slowly, oops, pull it apart. What a bing. Now, ooh, where's my needle? Now for me, I like a big eye, a needle that has a big eye in it, because I can't see. Oops. All right, let's do that, and we'll thread it through. If you cannot sew, this is the easiest thing, guys. You don't have to worry about being so particular about sewing. Now I'm going to start it on the outside because we're going to drawstring this close. And I don't want, you could put it on the inside. It really doesn't matter. It's up to you. For me, I like it on the outside. And all I'm going to do, not that I had to turn the circle around. I usually sew lefty, but because the camera's here, I'm trying to do it so you guys can see. It's weird. So I'm going to stick my needle in and just stick it down just a little bit and come up and just go down and up. And I'm about, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 of an inch or so from the edge. And that's all we're doing. So we're basically pleating or gathering is what we're doing. And this is the same way you can make some pumpkins too. And then every so often I'll pull that off of the needle. But the one thing is you don't want it to come off the other end. So sometimes I'll hold it like this on my hand. I think it just slid off my finger. Kind of did. And you can do that if it's long enough, your thread. So let's just weave this baby back and forth here. Oh, thank you. Yes, please. Guys, you know, we always like this. You know that. Come on. We all know that. So we always like that. So if you wouldn't be kind to bless, sprinkle the love, all the above, love it. Okay. This is probably the most tedious part of it all. The rest of it goes faster. And we're just going to make, now back in the day, they used to call, when they were making blankets and stuff, they would do things like this in a lot smaller. The circle would be a lot smaller. And when they drawstringed it together, they would lie it flat. And they used to call them yos, or yo-yos, some people may say. And then they would sew them together to make a blanket. Or a top like a comforter, not a comforter, like a bedspread kind of thing. And I had one from my mom. And I know I have it here somewhere. And I thought she never got a chance to finish it. And it's just pieces of fabric. And your fabric, really, to make those, it's just like a little circle like this. And then you do the same thing, but when we flatten it, and I don't know if I could do it with this because this is bigger, but we'll see if we can do it. What am I making? We are making these little pin cushions. So aren't they cute? And you could decorate them however you want. And I'm going to be selling these. I'm making 4 of these. I have a craft show this weekend. So I thought, hey, you know, a little something for mom or grandma or whoever, your daughter, a neighbor, somebody that crafts that you know. These make cute little things. And it's just a little thing you don't think of. And me, I'm keeping one of these. Why? Because when I changed my, you can see over here, I have a different stand to hold my iPad on. And I used to have this purple pillow here. And on the purple pillow, I was able to stick my pins in it. Here, I can't. And it's driving me crazy because I have nowhere to stick my pins. And I lay them down, and then they roll off the table and stuff. And I'm like, oh. So this was a friend of mine. And I think she's watching, Miss Janet James. She made these, and I thought they were so cute. So she gave me the idea. I asked her if I could do them and do it on a live. So she said, yes, I may. But it's a cute little gift. Cute little gift, y'all. Good morning. Hello, everybody. It's so nice to see everybody this morning. It really is. Everybody, I'm sure, now that Thanksgiving is over, it's like everybody's trying to get everything decorated for their house for Christmas. Now, when you finish, I'm going to see how close I can go so that you can see this. My needle's coming up here, and this is where my thread is. So you want them to end on the both sides. You don't want one to end on the inside and one on the outside. Because when we pull it, we got to tie it. So let's get all this off the needle without pulling the thread through the other end. And see, I'm going to use the pin cushion. Look at that. All right, so what you're going to do, now if we, remember I was talking about the yos, what they would do, they would drawstring these shut, and they would make little circles like this. And I don't have this hooped out all the way. I don't want to lose my thread here. And they would make almost like a little bonnet. And what they would do, they would sew it like in the four corners, and then they would attach them again and again and again. And that's what they used to do. And they used to make blankets back in the day. Oh, yeah. You know what? You don't have to just, you made a great point, Janet. For wreathers like me who do crafts, this is great because sticking in here, we're always searching for pins on our tables and whatnot. And this is a great way to just have some up on your table ready to go. Now I'm going to reach in here because we're going to stuff this. So what I'm going to do here first, because I don't want to lose my ends as it is, I'm just going to pull this a little bit close. Now you can move your gathering around a little bit. All right. And then I'm just going to take stuffing and I'm going to hold my, wrap those. There we go. And I'm going to start stuffing this. Do, do, do. Do you guys have snow up there in New York? Huh? I wonder. This is what we're making, Katie. We're making little pin cushions. It's great to keep in the wreathing room or give as a little gift. So we're making these today. Oh, may have put too much in. Let's gather, 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 stuff, stuff, stuff. So I'm pushing it down. Oops, I went out of frame. I'm pushing it like underneath where, it's pulled in. So I'm pushing it in there just to make it nice and firm because we don't want it to be so loose. If it's so loose, you're going to see a lot more wrinkles, I guess the word would be. So then we start pulling a little bit tighter. Now you don't necessarily have to have the whole bottom closed, but I'm one of those people, I want it closed as much as I can. Let me pull up the edge there, spread out and I want it to be kind of firm. If it's too loose in there, it's just not going to be, good. Here we go. Let me pull out my edges again. Get rid of that. All right, let's see if we have enough. And the way you can kind of test it is if you put it, oh, I lost my string, hold on. And this is why you do triple, because as you pull it, you don't want it to break on you. I think this is actually going to be enough. And let's say if you want to test it, you can kind of put it in there and see. But I know it's ready to go. Lightly yesterday, we had what they call grapples. Katie, have you ever heard of that? What it is, it's snow and it freezes and they're little balls and they literally bounce off the ground. I mean, it was I never, ever, ever, ever heard of grapples. It's not sleet because sleet is like water. But this is not water. It was snowflakes. It was the coolest thing. All right. So we got our little thing here and this is going to go in here. So see, it's stuffed enough. See when I push it, I say the word hard. It's not really hard. But now because these are paper mache, the reason why I never heard about it before. It was the wildest thing. I had to call my husband at work and say, honey, we got these little snowballs, tiny itty bitty things. It was the coolest thing. They were bouncing off the deck. All right. So because this is not terracotta. I chose not to do the terracotta pots because if it fell off the table, I was worried that it would shatter. And in my place, things shatter. Okay. So that's why I decided to use the paper mache. And I have this polyfills. Now, when you get new shoes and stuff, you get those little packets. You know, you can use that too. Open them up, put them in there. You want to wrap it in saran wrap, a bunch of it, you can. Because there's no holes or anything on the bottom, I'm not worried about this coming out. I just hope I don't get too much getting poured in here. I'm holding the bottom of the bag. Hold on. I need to fix the bag. And I'm just going to pour some in there. So I've only poured about yay much in there. So it's not even halfway. And it just gives it enough to weigh it down. Move this down here so it's out of the way. And then what I'm going to do, because I do have space in there. Oops, I got to move my camera back. My thing back. I'm going to take some of the batting and I'm just going to put it on top so that when this gets glued in here, it's not going to like sink down. You don't have to worry about it sinking down. It just gives it a little something to go on. Some support from underneath. All right, so let me put my happy fingers on because you know me. I always get my fingers glued. All right. Oh, and my glue pot died yesterday, you all. I was like so mad. So now I have to go get another glue pot. So I'm just going to go ahead and around the rim of this. Doesn't matter if the fiber gets on it. It's still going to work. We'll get it to all stick. Don't worry. And glue that around. And then we're going to take our little ball and stick it in there. Oh, isn't this so cute? Give it a few seconds just to set up. Let that one sit off to the side. And let's do another one. Let's do the blue one. So you can see both colors. Look, I'm so happy I got a pin cushion now. Woo. Listen, just small things in life that make us happy, you know? All right. Oop, take my happy finger off. I want to put this in my mouth. You know how we thread it to make it go good, but I don't want to do that because of this whole COVID thing. Oh, I got it on the first shot. Woo-hoo. So see here, this is the edge of the fabric, and it doesn't matter because it's going to be tucked underneath. So I definitely want to make sure I get use of all my fabric. So, and you can make these with Christmas designs, Valentine's Day, birthday designs, whatever you want to do. Easter, if you're doing something for school. And this is actually not a bad project that a kid could do with you. Now, you'd have to watch them because they'll probably stick themselves with the pen and use maybe a medium temperature or low temperature glue gun. So keep that in mind. Come on, thread. Now, I like to sew. So my mom taught me how to sew. And of course, back in the day, you used to take home economics back in class. I'm going to switch to this because while I'm sewing, I want to talk to you guys. So you guys see my face. Yeah. So we used to take home economics, and mom would have the sewing machine and sew, and she would crochet and do all those little granny squares, which, God, for whatever reason, I couldn't do it to save my life. I could knit. She could start me, and I could just keep knitting. When I get to the end, go to the next row, next row, next row, but I didn't know how to end it. So mom would always have to end it on the knitting as well. I was not talented in that sense. But give me a glue gun. Well, we didn't have it back then. Elmer's glue, that rubbing, was it rubbing glue? Rubber cement. Or I used to do the models a lot, you know, you use that like that airplane glue or whatever they called it, the models. I used to do those all the time too. But whatever mom did, you know what, she always involved me in doing the crafts. So that's how I got into doing crafts, really. And I like doing them. It's you know, a lot of people say, how could you cross stitch, counted cross stitch? Well, you know, isn't that tedious? Isn't it? Guys, It isn't tedious. It's relaxing because you're creating something that it comes out really pretty. I'm just watching my tail in there that I don't pull it through. Because I hate that. I've done that so many times. Ugh. Oh, and then it's like, oh, I just lost 4 or 5 stitches. Have to just keep going around. So just make sure your thread is long. You can make it longer, your thread. I just cut it whatever length. You know, it's no big deal. But just make it long enough so you don't feel like you're going to, you know, pull it out through the other end. Because that's just a frustration. All right, we're at the end here. So let me switch cameras back. All right, so again, you want to have it so the needle and your thread come both up at the same on the top side in this case. Or if you're going to do it the underside, it's up to you. Put that. Let's put this in here. Hello. Oh, you like my Santa hat? Listen, if y'all know me by now, I have multiple hats. Because when I used to work every day, I would wear a different hat for the month of December. So as many times as I'll be coming on live here, I will be doing the same thing. So I chose today Mickey. Good old Mickey. All right, so let's get this baby going here. Oops. Let's just stuff away. Good gosh. And you can see I'm taking my finger and cupping it under when I go in so it gets, you know, around the edges, not just sitting in the middle. Or pushing it in with my thumb, whichever way. So that way we can make it nice and full on here. Good morning. Oh, Missouri. Woohoo. I know we got Missouri, Texas, Ireland, New York. We got a whole bunch of states in here today. Yay, oh, everybody. So let's get a little bit more in there because I feel that it's not as full on this side. All right, so let's pull it shut. We'll get that stuffed in there, don't worry. I just twisted up this so I can't knot it. There we go. And stuff you back in there. Stuff, stuff, stuff. And again, I just spread out my, you know, gathering some so it doesn't, because otherwise you're going to get all the gathering on one side and, you know, you just want to make it a little bit more even. So I just pull it around. All right, whoops. Got away from me again. It's getting, that end's getting stuck on the thread with me. There we go. All righty. Put my finger in there. Hold it down as I give it one good knot, if I can get it through. And then another. And I just tie it a few times. And again, don't worry about it having to be all the way shut. And here we go. Put one more in there for good measure. And just cut it. Now this one, whoops, just dropped it on the floor, didn't I? See, I had them color coordinated, you all. This had a little bit of purple in it. This one had the pink. This one had the blue. Right, because this had flowers on it. Yeah, the flower goes in the purple. So confused myself, y'all. Or was it in this one? Oh, let's put it in this one. And we'll change it off. We'd still put the purple at this one. That works. Okay. So again, let's go ahead. Let me move this out of the way. Good morning. Let's go ahead and put some of the poly pellets in. And again, I'm not filling it up all the way because it's just to give it a little balance on it, a little weight on the bottom. And let's put some more stuffing. Oops, don't need that much. Just so when we put our thing in there, it gives it a little bit of something for the bottom. Put me happy fingers on because this is when I always burn it when I'm stuffing. That's the wrong finger. That won't work. All right. I hope my glue gun didn't turn off. Okay. Oops, I touched the glue. That's why I have happy fingers. Oops. All right, and let's just put this baby down in there. And let's set it up. I just pushed down a little bit on it just to make sure it's gripping on the sides. I got a glue string hanging on me. Now you can make them as poofy as you want. If you don't want it as poofy, see the difference? It doesn't matter. So I always test, I pull away from the sides to make sure that it is glued. And this one's glued. Yay! Put my little piece in there. All right, so we got those sewed. All right, so now we're going to decorate it. I'm choosing to use the same decoration around the edge, which is my lace. Ugh, I hate it when you get glue all over you. You can get this, I don't know, this was $1. I don't even know where I bought this. It's Jacksonville, Florida. I probably had this for many years. It's just lace on a roll. Get it where, you know, any craft stores, Walmart, and all those places, they all have them. Get whatever size, whatever color you want. It's up to you. I just make sure I got the right edge. Now, some of these, when you do it, if you look at it, you can tell which side is the side that should be inside and the side that should be on the outside. But if you don't, if you can't, just look at it on the roll and pull it straight, and then you'll know which way to go. So I'm going to go this way. So put me happy fingers back on. Before I do this, and we're just going to get this started. Let's put a strip of glue, just a little bit of strip of glue, just at the top. Because this is just like having a little skirt. Okay, now I have the blue showing at the top. I don't want this over. I just want it touching at the top of the edge there. This is why you have happy fingers. Glue. See, I'm not using, use your happy finger, not the finger that doesn't have a thing on it, Carolynne. All right, some more glue. I'm just guiding it along. And I use my happy finger to press. Now, when we get to the end, I do overlap it just a little bit over the other piece. Cut it. That way you don't see the raw edges of the other one. So it looks like it's all continued. You can see where it is overlapped. You can see the white, but you don't want them to meet because then if there's a gap or anything, you don't want that. All right, so there's that one. Now this one didn't adhere as good here. So that's why I test it. Let's push it down, put you off to the side, and let's do this one. So let's put the happy fingers back on. Something on my screen here. All right. And again, let me find the good side. And here we go. And it doesn't matter where you start this on here. It's wherever you want to start it. There's no good place or bad place. It's just wherever. See? It's a cute little project. Now, like I said, you can use like ribbon on here if you want to do that. You could bedazzle it all the way. I know if I did this with my granddaughters, they probably put bedazzles, gems all over it, which is fine. You don't have to put lace. I just like the lace on it. That's just me, y'all. That's just me. Okay. Finishing up right there. Oops. And we'll cut it. And it's only overlapping about 1/4 of an inch. Nothing big or major. With tons of glue strings. See, why do I use that? Use the fingers, Carolyn. All right. Now, if you're using the terracotta pots, I do recommend maybe on the bottom putting something, whether it's a piece of felt. I'm going to check this to make sure it's good. Yep. Just because you don't want it to scratch whatever surface the person that is using it. You wouldn't want that to happen. So that person wouldn't be a happy camper. All right, so now we're going to finish this baby off. Now, because the way I overlapped it in here, it's not so that you could see the seam. So I'm going to actually stick my little gem right on top there. Now I can make that the back and do it on the other side if I want to, but I'm choosing to do it there. So again, I should have my happy fingers on. A little bedazzle. And we're just going to stick that right there. So it kind of covers up the seam as well. And look at bedazzle. Oh, glue strings. Drive me crazy. And then this one, I have a little like turquoisey blue flower. And I'm going to do the same thing with it. I'm going to put it right over there as well. I'm noticing there are captions now on the Facebook put on this. So I keep seeing all these captions that are coming up. All right, so look. We got some cool little pin cushions. Aren't they cute? See, we got one pin in there already. And again, these are cute little gifts that you can give anybody. Whether anybody who's a crafter, doesn't have to be a sewer. If you know something that they like more, if it's dogs or cats, do the fabric in that or something else. If they like to go skiing or swimming. And again, you don't have to use lace. You can use whatever you want. It is up to you. But look how cute they are, aren't they? And then you can, give them as cute little gifts. So I think they're so cute. Oh, thank you for the hearts. Thank you. So guys, let me switch cameras again so I can see you again. Hold on. So look, aren't they so cute? Oops. And you can make them all the same color if you want to. Make them all different colors. I just chose different colors based on the fabric that I bought. So I think they're just so cute. You know, this one has a flower on it. And then we have our bedazzles there on these. So they're cute little gifts. Aren't cute little things. I know, Katie, you do a lot with the Alzheimer's. I do a lot with the Project Second Chance, dog rescue, and I also do with the Wounded Warriors Project. So we're both like always giving. So anyway, so guys, that's gonna be it from Nonnas Nutty Crafts. And don't forget to bless my page. Hit the little buttons up at the top of your page, the three little ones, and hit following so you can, know when I send out notification. This time I sent out the notification like an hour in advance. And then I was so ready, I was like, oh, I should have started earlier. But it's all good. So I hope you enjoyed this little project. It didn't even take long. What we did, three of them in, yeah, we did three of them. No, two of them in what, 40 minutes? We made two of them, but it'd probably go quicker because, I'm talking. So, um, that's going to be it. And I'll see you next time on NonnasNuttykrafts. Bye.